So in today's video, my Outequippro 12-volt AC has finally arrived. I've finally taken the leap. I'm going to try and install this myself. Get rid of that Coleman Mach AC on top, that 120 volts, just monstrosity of an air conditioner for a van. So let's get this box open. Let's take a look at what this looks like. So like I said, this is an Outequippro, or it just says Outequip on the side. I went with the black shell instead of the white. This might be the first YouTube video I've seen with a black shell on it. You can see how low profile it is, super thin. I measured it with a measuring tape. It's roughly 7 inches tall. So that's amazing compared to if you have a Coleman on top of your van, it's gonna be a huge improvement. Just inspecting it now for damage, making sure nothing happened in shipping before I unwrap it all the way. Power cord on the back of it is just massive. But I guess with 12 volts, you do have to have pretty thick wires to handle like the increased load. So flipping it over, I just wanted to show you guys this. Every YouTube video I've watched on an Outequip air conditioner, they have 2 support bars that run across it. And this one's different. So I don't know if this is a newer model or if this is just because this one has heat and it's a different style. I'm not sure. This is a plate. And it's not clear in the instructions how the plate goes on, so I just wanted to show it. The wider part goes in the back, the thinner part in the front, and then you can see where it lines up with the holes. So I just wanted to double check this before I got on the van, and then I'm struggling to figure it out. So also, before I put it on top of the van, I want to make sure it turns on, and then this kind of gives you an idea of how I'm going to wire it. So I had an upfit by ABC, and they moved my bus bars on the inside, so you can see I put the negative lead on first and it goes to the negative bus bar, and then I have the red lead and it goes to the red bus bar, and then that is an inline fuse on it. It's a 100 amp quick fuse just to protect your system. So let's talk about this monster wire. The way it comes out of the back of the AC unit, you can see, and first way to do it is just drill a hole in the top of your van and install it somewhere in the hole that you drill. So that's not everybody wants to do that. So some people, you can run it like underneath it and then put it through the gasket. I don't know if I really want to do it that way either. And then the last option, just run it on the inside. But it takes a little bit of work to do. So let's get this top cover popped off so I can show you how to do it, and we'll get it installed correctly. So now with the cover popped off, you can see all the internals. You can see where the power cord comes out and goes down and goes underneath the machine. So I'll have to cut off a zip tie and probably get rid of the fuse on there for now, just so I can feed it back through. And then I will feed this cord along the side of the air conditioner, and I'm going to put it through this foam, similar to how this cord right here is going through the foam. You can see there's a little bit of sealant on there. I'm going to do something similar to that. So popping up that foam cover, I just had to take those little screws off, just so I can make sure I'm not going to damage anything behind it. I'm going to feed it down through those. So that's your air return for the inside. So I'm going to probably drill a hole like right here in the foam. So I'm kind of up high. I don't want to hit those wires down below. So like I said, I had to feed this wire through. Here is the fuse. You just have to unscrew one end of it to get the fuse off of it. That way it can actually fit through the hole. You can see how it's going to come down through the air return. And this is just kind of tracing out. I'm going to try to put it against here. The cord's pretty, like, it doesn't want to cooperate because it's so thick, but I'm going to try to put it through there and then feed it through the foam. And then fast forward, this is kind of what it looks like, what I was going for. Hard to stick it where I wanted it to because it just doesn't want to bend, but make sure you go under this cord. But this is kind of what it looks like. It's all fed through. I used a step bit to drill that hole, got it all nice and done. And then just to finish this up, I'm going to use the silver like HVAC tape just to seal it off. That way you're not sucking in any air from outside into here. This is the air return from inside your vehicle. And then the cover should help push that wire into place. And then you can see I got all these little screws on with their little washers. So let's tackle this Coleman air conditioner. So got the vents off and the little filters. You're going to have 4 Phillips head screws to get the big housing off the outside, the house that held the vents. Underneath that, you're going to have another housing. It has 4 more Phillips head screws, same size, You're going to pull those off, and that will expose those black long screws. You'll be able to pull those down. I found it interesting. This duct is actually just made out of like duct tape for the duct work. So once you get the black screws out, now the fun begins. Trying to break the seal around there. It was terrible, and it's messy. It's super messy. I should have put something underneath this to capture all the trash that I made and all the flaky stuff. So after a lot of work, I was finally able to get the air conditioner off the top. Tried to clean it as best as I could. It was a combination of scraping, heat gun, acetone, alcohol, just constantly just trying to get it as clean as I could before I put the new sill down. So I'll kind of probably give it a once more one over with alcohol, and then I'll get this sill put down. So going around the sill, I'm going to use Cycloflex 221. It's a sealant and adhesive together. So this will be kind of what I use to help bond it to the surface around the edge. It is a sticky. The foam does have a sticky side, so you stick it down first and then go around it with the Cycloflex. And then I put a little bit on the inside too in some areas where I had room, but for the most part, this hole is exactly 14 inches. So I didn't really have a whole lot of extra room. And then you can see I have the 2 extra foam supports in the back just to help take some of the weight of the air conditioner, so it sits more level and flush. Now, wiring on the inside. I have the Coleman air conditioner wiring to deal with. I also need to clean this up a little bit and shave that off. But I have the Coleman disconnected. I have the fuse turned off, so it's not going to try and give power. I'm going to just cut those off, but I'm going to leave them for now. And then this, I'm going to have to try to manage and see how I want to get it. Maybe go through this like sidewall. This little support that Thor made. I want to just basically run it along the roof. So we'll see how that goes. So looking at the bolts that help secure this to your roof, you're going to have 2 sizes. If you're doing this on a van roof or a standard size roof that's not too thick, you can just use the short ones. And then if you have a thicker roof, you might have to use longer. And then they have an extension kit for really thick roofs. But I get to just use the standard ones on this roof. This roof isn't like super thick at all. I do give Thor credit for making that aluminum frame that frames it out. Otherwise, you might have to put wood, 14 by 14, to kind of give you something solid to help space it out a little bit. So I decided to drill a big hole. So I'm going to run it through that frame that Thor made out of the aluminum, just here in the back. And then I'll be able to run the wire through the ceiling, come out back here, and then you can see there's a hole that goes into the body of the Ford, and then it comes out that little door. And I kind of ran a rope through already. I had a little endoscope to make sure there was nothing in the way so I could watch it. So getting those long bolts in, when you tighten these down, crisscross when you do your pattern. That way, because you're trying to get it to compress the seal on the top. So just make sure you do like a crisscross action. Don't over tighten them. Like, don't go crazy. So they basically say hand tight plus a quarter turn, or like 1.5 Newton meters of torque. Just if I'm trying to be gentle with something when I'm using this wrench, I try to hold my hand just on the head of it. And I'm just using like one finger to twist it. That way I know I'm not putting too much pressure. And I'm just going to keep on going in this crisscross fashion, bringing the sill down until it gets to the point where where it feels pretty snug, and then I'm just going to stop there. I don't want to over tighten and potentially ruin the housing. So you can see how the screws hang down. They don't really hang down too far. So now I'll be ready to start thinking about this electrical. I have no gaps, no light coming in, so I think that I have the sill compressed enough. So let's talk about all these wires. So you can see I got that one pushed over the power cord. I put little bit of like rubber, like a rubber gasket around the aluminum, but it's in that protective shroud anyway, so it should be okay. You can see where it comes out in the back. Kind of noticeable, but not too bad. And then it's going to kind of go behind those cabinets. It comes out right there, and that's really noticeable. I don't really like that necessarily, but it's the easiest way to do it right now without taking a lot of stuff apart. And then you can see where it comes out of the wall down below. Eventually, I'm sure these cabinets are just going to fall off someday. That's what the Thor sanctuary seemed to do. So when that happens, I'm going to address a lot of this roof stuff, and then I'll reroute the wire in like a completely hidden fashion. Probably put a new roof material up and stuff like that. So let's talk about this unit, the headpiece, or the brains of it anyway. They got a couple things you should take note of. One, the temp sensor. There's a zip tie for it. Make sure it goes on that air return grate. And the other one, this little black cone, put a piece of tape on it. If you don't like loud noises, one of the only bad reviews about this air conditioner is the beep is loud. They say in the instructions, put a little piece of tape on the top of that and it could like help quiet the sound. Now before putting that up, fill in any spaces of pockets in your upper body work. So this one doesn't really have a whole lot of empty space, but it's basically just to prevent hot air from your roof getting sucked into the AC as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit in that back section, kind of where that yellow warning sticker is, and then we'll start working on getting this placed up there. Now, if you want some help, having a second person is nice, but if you don't have a second person to hold that white housing above, I just use some painter's tape. There's that temp probe zip tied out to the grate, and then all the other plugs just plug in. They only fit one way, and they only fit in one spot, so it's pretty easy to figure out. It's kind of a friction fit, so the air duct will kind of friction slide over the other air duct, so once you're pushing this upward, it'll stay up on its own. You will have to put screws into it. There's 4 screw holes. It's just a really long Phillips head screw. But for the most part, if you're not moving, it'll stay up and let you kind of get your bearings before you put the screws in. Now back to wiring. We mentioned this earlier. Start on the first start and make sure your stuff is all shut down. But start on the negative bus bar and put your black wire or your negative lead onto your bus bar. And then once that one's tightened down, I'll put the other one on the red one. And I usually put the caps on before I move on to the next one, just in case. So let's look at this. So I got it on heat because I think it's like 46 degrees outside right now. So the heat came on. It's actually blowing hot air. I can feel it sitting on the little bench seat. I'm actually pretty impressed how hot the air is that it's blowing out. I have a little thermal gun temperature reader thing, 105, 106-ish almost, might have been the best one. So it actually, I'm pretty impressed. This will actually do a pretty decent job heating, at least in like conditions like this, like it's 40 something degrees outside. It can blow heat. Maybe when it's like negative something, it might not be as good, but it is taking negative 50 amps to run the heater. That's probably the most power this thing will take. I think the AC will take less than that, but 50 amps to run the heater, just so you can see it. Hopefully it warms up and I can run the air conditioner later today. So I hit the mode button. It next went to fan. So I guess that little icon on the top is just fan mode. It gives you the current temperature inside the van that it's reading. So it's reading 56 inside. It only cools to 63, so I can't cool it right now because it's already too cold. It does have a light button. It has 2 little LED lights on its sides. So that's kind of a nice feature. You can have like, if you didn't have lights in your van already, you have access to that with a remote control. You can just flip them on. What else does it have on here? The eco and stuff, that doesn't work yet because it's just on fan. Neither does sleep, but sleep works for the cooling. It does have a voltage thing. It tells you your battery's voltage, and it also has a battery indicator. Like you can see, it's hard to see in that image, but it basically has a full indicator for my battery. And then when it's running on fan only, it's only drawing 3 amps. And I have the solar disconnected right now, and the house is disconnected right now. So just 3 amps to just run it on fan, which is pretty nice. Hopefully it warms up in the van a little bit. The sun comes out and I can test the AC next. Let's talk about this up here. This is kind of a nice feature. These are swivel, and then they're also tilt. So you can have like, I think I'm going to do this one, blows onto the passenger side person sleeping. These can blow like up the center or wherever you want, but I'm going to have them probably like blow up the center to blow forward, and then this one can blow on the other person that's sleeping on the driver's side. So that's kind of a nice feature. So I was able to get the AC compressor to kick over so I could actually test the air conditioner part. So this is on sleep mode level 1 fan. roughly it says 5 amp hours, but the solar's given 7, so maybe 12 amp hours of energy use right now. And then I'm going to kick it over into turbo mode. It takes a while to ramp up, so after I let it ramp up a little bit, I get it up to like 10 amp hours, so roughly 17 to 18 amp hours with solar's help, or without solar help. So these numbers are a little less than expected. I don't think I can stress the system enough today, you know, being under 60 degrees outside. Other YouTubers that I've watched have had higher values, so I'm pretty sure I should have higher values. I would expect somewhere near like the 20 amp hour range for like the eco sleep modes on level 1, and then somewhere in the mid 40s for the turbo mode. I think those would be more realistic. Either way, the energy consumption is less than the Coleman Mach AC. So normally I voice over everything, but it's just a little bit smoother that way. But for this, I think just real talking. So I have the fan set on low. It's on the lowest setting, it's level 1. Oh, it's hard to get the camera to focus, but with the Coleman, if you have a Thor Sanctuary or Tranquility, or if you have a Coleman AC, you could not watch TV right now. You know what I mean? If you're using the air conditioner, you can't watch TV. Well, you can watch it, but you can't hear it. You can't have a conversation. This is so quiet that you can easily talk to the person if there's another person next to you, or you could watch TV without having to adjust the volume. Let's go ahead and turn the fan speed up to level 2. So it's going to ramp up to level 2. You can kind of see the indicator on there. It's really not that big a deal. Let's go up to level 3. It's getting a little louder, but it's quieter than the Coleman at level 3, but it's a little louder. It's noticeable. And level 4. Level 4 is like the Coleman AC, so at least if you had to cool something really quick, at least you got the higher speeds, but for the most part, I think level 1 and 2 are probably going to be adequate for a van. We sleep directly underneath the air conditioner. You know, you sit directly underneath the air conditioner, so you really don't need that high speed in a van setup, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, super impressed with this. Its power consumption is minimal. I'm liking it so far. Can't wait to test it in real life. Now this old AC, 15 inches tall, so we shaved 8 inches of height by going with this new air conditioner. This AC right here, this Coleman, weighs 100 pounds. The new one weighs 45. I think maybe it's 98 pounds to 45. So over half the weight. That's just insane. And then also, not to mention, this looks amazing. And it makes the van look amazing. So I'm super happy with this upgrade. I can't wait to test it out. Like and subscribe for more content. And thank you for watching.